Let's start right away. So how are you, coach?
Good, man.
How is the lockdown? Where are you right now? Where are you located? Are you in New Orleans?
I'm in New Orleans, Louisiana, man.
Oh, damn. So still home, back home. Since
I
when?
don't, I don't do morning stuff very often, man. So you better be freaking lucky. I hate mornings. I got out of coaching. I hate mornings. But anyways, yeah, dude, I've been back here since December of 2016. Moved back to
Okay.
New Orleans. I'm originally from here, so.
I know. I remember. So you're the first guest on my podcast. I have different CFL players, different coaches who I'm gonna have later on next week or I don't know, next month. Um, but you're the first. And for many people who doesn't know you, you're like the best OC who ever coached in Europe. But some people don't know. Some people don't know. So let's talk about that. How was the GFL experience for you? How was Germany, Europe football for you? Was it a big
Um,
difference or
yeah,
was it?
it was a really cool experience, man. So I got into coaching in 2009. I was in Oklahoma State for 2009, 10, 11. Won a bunch of games, and then I got into a D2 play, started calling plays in 2012 and 13. And it was funny. I had one of my coaches, New Mexico Highlands. He actually played for Dresden. I guess, I mean, shit, at that time, 5, 6 years ago. So now it's probably 20 some years ago. So he's the first person to put the European bug in my head about, they actually pay, money for, basically single American coaches or single American import players to go over there. So I never left the country at that point, man. This was in 2013, and
Hmm.
so I had a passport. It was empty. It was kind of embarrassing, and so I was asking him. I was like, "Where the hell should I go, man?" So he goes, "I mean, I was in Dresden. It was cool." So I honestly Googled Oktoberfest and I tried to find out where the hell that was. So I was like, Munich's on top of my list. Like I had no idea about the GFL. I just went, if I'm going to Germany, I mean, my stereotype American, I went, okay, I'm gonna go one to Oktoberfest, two, I'm gonna go see a Ramstein concert somewhere. And that's about it. That's all I cared about. So I Googled Oktoberfest, it said Munich. So right then I looked up the GFL, saw Munich Cowboys. So for some reason, I shot a resume to like 4 or 5 different teams. I think three of them got back to me within probably 6 hours. And our man JC Craig was one of the first people to hit me back, man. And he was like, "So you want to quit your job in New Mexico, or just had a top five offense and come all the way to Europe?" And I was like, "I mean, it sounds like a fun time. I don't know. I kind of make impulsive decisions like that. I don't really think things through a lot, but it's one of my good friends that played out there had a blast, and at that time I was 20, 26, 25, 26, and I was just
Hmm.
looking for I guess the next adventure. So that was pretty much it, man. So I came over to Munich, and they had not won in a long time when I was there.
I know. It's bad.
Uh, yeah, man. But first time you get over there, you got to figure out what's the mentality like of the players. Can you coach a player in Europe like you can coach a player in America? Um, it's different levels, man. In high school, your goal is to play college. So everyone works hard. Everyone kind of toes the company line because you want a college scholarship, and your coaches are the ones that kind of hold the keys to that. They talk to the college coaches. They get your scholarship for you. And then
Hmm.
when you get to college, same deal. You want to go to the NFL, so your coaches are the ones that control that. So there's like it's almost a hierarchy to where you have to have a certain type of behavior because you understand what you have to gain, and then
Hmm.
get to the NFL. Most of the players are making more than the coaches, so it's like it's just a different dynamic. And hold on, sorry, damn dog.
Okay.
So yeah, it's very different. And then so you come to Europe, and most of the import players are the only ones getting paid, and most I guess the European players are almost just playing it because they just love the game, and
Yeah.
it's a different approach. It's almost like they're doing it for fun. They have job, they're going to university, they're So they're kind of doing it on their free time, but they put in the same work as, an American import who's, I guess it's his job to do it. And
Yeah.
it's just interesting coaching people with that kind of dynamic. And, like I said, in America, of course, people play football because they love football, but there's always something more tied into, it's your free college, it's your, chance to go to the NFL, it's your chance to get out of a neighborhood you grew up in and go far away from home to college. And, so yeah, it was just, it was a interesting, I guess, a psychology, study, you could say. I mean, just in how the mentality of the German players. And, I coached in Germany for 2 years. So I was in Munich, and then I was in Kiel, and then I went up to Sweden for a year.
Oh,
So just
Sweden too.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it was the Karlstad Crusaders up there, man. So we went up there and won a title in 16. But it was just interesting, man. Just coaching different types of kids. And that's the big thing is I would say coaching the kids is football no matter where you are. And the players, once you get into it, I mean, I coach the exact same as I did in America, right, wrong, or indifferent. I coach hard. I coach intense.
Intense, yeah.
That's just how I was raised, man. I mean, football's not a nice game. It's not a soft game. And I would say the biggest difference. So the players were fine. I mean, once they adjusted to me and realized how I was, and I knew what I'm talking about, then they pretty much followed whatever I said. Now the coaches are a different thing. All right.
Yeah.
Let me put this as a warning. All right. If you want to coach football, you cannot coach football half-ass. All right. So if you have a job, if you have a family, and you want to come at the end of the day, be a part-time volunteer coach, you can't coach part-time.
Yeah.
So I'd say that was my biggest frustration with the European experience would be the European coaches, at least the ones that I was around. They just, it was like the last thing of the day for them to do. Oh, I'm going to swing by the field. It's like you didn't go to any meetings. You have no idea what the game plan is. You have no idea the techniques I want taught. You just want to roll out and put a t-shirt on, put a logo on, be cool. But like, you just want to show up and stay on the sideline on game day, then just show up on game day. Just get out of the way. But I'd say that was the biggest thing. Is like coaches. If you don't have coaches, you need to pay your coaches to where coaching football is what they're doing the most throughout the day. Not at the end of my real job, at the end of my family, is that the wife calls. Oh, so and so, you have to come watch little Johnny. Little Johnny got sick. Oh, I can't go to practice today. Sorry, coach. It's Wednesday practice. Oh, I have to watch my kid. Okay, like bye. Like we don't in America. We don't have these problems.
Yeah.
We have practice. Little Johnny, little Johnny can go to grandma's house. Like little Johnny can go to the fucking hospital, but I gotta go to practice.
Yeah.
Like not like I miss my brother's wedding because I had fucking 2 days, man. Like it's football. If you're involved with football, it's a job, dude. So
it is.
I'd say that's where I got a few more buddies that you could probably
It is.
About.
Are you still in good terms with the mini Cowboys? Because when I remembered when shit went down, the last time I've seen you, we went Mannheim. I think Mannheim was the team, and they rejected you from the game. If you remember, I think they rejected the game more. It's long ago.
That was a lot of Red Bulls ago, man. I mean, that was 2014, man. That was
I think, yeah, a long time ago.
Yeah, I mean, I have no problem with people meeting. They just, A, they couldn't afford me. B, they didn't want to build the program properly. C, I guess they didn't know how to handle me. But yeah, I went in there and I took a team that couldn't even line up right and got them in the playoffs. Just put an offense in, and we had some good offensive players. And yeah, I mean, everyone over there is cool. I mean, me and Garen are very cool. Garen Hollis, the head coach, he was there.
True, he's not there.
DC when I was there. I mean, number 5, I mean, we're great. JC Craig, he was my guy, man. I love that dude. He's he's like teaching golf somewhere in the Alps. I don't know.
Okay.
JC's like the hell of getting paid in Europe. So he learned. I swear to God, I think this guy learned how to cook. So I think he got trained to be like an Italian chef, and he started teaching golf lessons in like Munich.
Wow. So he stopped also football.
Yeah, he's just here's the deal, man. Any legit American football coach that I know they go to Europe, they're gonna lose their damn mind because it's just you have to adjust. There's not the GFL administrators, they're not gonna adjust to you. You have to adjust. So
Mm.
they're just gonna act like they don't. I guess you're gonna say it's not taking it seriously, but some places it is.
Yeah.
So you have like back in Swarco when you had Shwan Fatah, like Coach Fatah coaches his ass off. That dude
Oh,
coaches
they
hard.
cut him. They cut him.
Yeah. But before they did, I mean
Yeah.
that dude coaches hard now. Like Troy Tomlin, a New Yorker, and DC over there, the dudes coach hard. They coach their ass. I mean, they don't fuck around. Like if you get signed up over there, cool, they cut you, they fire you. You don't want to play hard, you miss a practice, you're fired. Like that's what I was used to. So not dealing with excuses and this and that and our sponsors and this. Like, okay, here's the deal. I coach football. You talk to sponsors. I win football games. You get sponsors that want to be associated with winning. Okay, I do my job. You do your job. Like it's kind of simple. So you deal with a lot more. Like I said, and if you're coaching college football, you're worried about kids. Your players going to class on time. You're worried about stupid crap your kids do at a party, or the cops get called to a party. Oh my God, my players are at the party. Oh my God, it's my responsibility as a coach. So you basically have responsibility of them 24 hours a day. If you sign a kid, like you're responsible for that kid. So it's different because you're dealing with men in Europe, but there's also just I hope the game keeps developing and keeps getting more and more important in Europe. I really do, because if things are done a certain way, you can have some great success. And it's just it for me, it was annoying when you see that some of the top teams do it properly, and then the other teams don't think they have to raise as much money or spend as much code. It's like, I mean, okay, like if you're not going to win if you don't put the resources out there. So that's what I realized that a long time ago, which is why I went to the next place I went to, Kiel.
And you took all imports with you.
Yeah. I mean, Kiel, I go, I can't. I go, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. You guys want a championship? Okay, I need this. I got to hire this kind of coach for defense. I need these players. And I mean, bottom line, we got to pay. We're not only going to pay imports, we're going to pay our European players. We're going to get our guys jobs. We're going to get train passes. We're going to do whatever the hell we can to get. I'm going to recruit. I basically brought an American recruiting approach to European players. I was recruiting Serbians. I was recruiting anyone with the EU passport. I was recruiting. I don't care. So built an army, man. Built an army of maniacs.
But it was good. And the funny thing is, because of you, they cut Patrick Esume. I think Patrick Esume. I don't know what his name is.
Yeah.
Yeah, and now he's like,
now
he's kind of big on YouTube and comment. He's like on the zone, talking about NFL games, and stuff like that. So he's doing good. So you did him a favor.
Esume is the God King Kanye, man. He's like Yeezus of football in Europe, man.
Yeah, true.
Now I tell you what, that dude broke the mold for European coaches' salaries, man. That dude did. I'll tell you what, he did some good service for him. Stuff he did in France, the stuff he did at Kiel. He got Kiel to pay him some really good money, which was, I guess at that time, like groundbreaking money, like when he won the first championship. So, but then Kiel got cheap, brought me in, paid me like maybe half of what they were paying Esume. But it's just all about. I mean, like I said, I can get into. I can talk about that general manager up there for years. That guy up there is an absolute clown show. Gunnar Peter, oh my God. Like I said, Esume will say the same thing I'm saying. That dude had absolutely zero clue how to run a football franchise. Zero clue. He was just, it's one of those people that like if you really enjoy something and you're good at something, and if you watch, like I don't know anything about like basketball. I don't know a damn thing about basketball. I like watching it. It's fast paced, cool. So I'm a basketball fan. Okay. I'm a football player, football coach. I view the game as a coach. I analyze the game. But when it comes down to it, I'm a basketball fan.
Yeah.
There are some people that are football fans working in the football business. He might be one of them. Just saying. So he'd probably be better off with popcorn, sitting in the bleachers, cheering on, than making decisions.
Yeah.
Because he's, and that's where you get a lot of guys in Europe. It's like, if you haven't left Europe and played at a high level in America, or been at a high school that was a high level college, or been around an NFL team, you don't really understand how I'm coaching if I have been there. So, um, you know, you ask direct questions, I'll give you direct answers. Keep up.
But it's good.
I'll tell you whatever you want. I don't give a damn. But
It's good.
everything over there, dude. Bottom line, I was myself. I'd say I terrified a lot of people with my intensity because most people in Europe don't coach like me.
Yeah.
But here's the deal: when I figured out the guys at the top, they do, I
Yeah.
was like, well, shit, man. There's a reason they're at the top. I mean, it's that easy. Like they have money, they pay for the best players, they pay their European coaches. That's why they're winning.
Yeah.
So if I'm somewhere where I can't coach, I can't be myself. The coaches around me are terrible, and we can't afford to give a guy a bus pass or a train pass or
Yeah.
something to practice. Like we're never gonna climb up, you know.
Yeah.
So
It's bad. It's real bad. But why did you left? Why did you left Kiel and why? Oh, Sweden. The last time was Sweden. You won your championship and then you just stopped coaching. How come? Why?
oh nah,
Is
man, it was I was in Europe for 3 years, and look, it's kind of the same thing, man. I come in somewhere and I pretty much turn. Okay, so came to Kiel. Kiel was pretty much all blown up. It was the end of the Esume area, and so they were like, "All right, we got to rebuild everything." I was like, "Okay, cool, but you have to have these coaches who were terrible, but you have to have them because they used to play here." I'm like, "Okay, that's terrific, awful." So I hired a defense coordinator from America, who's a really good coach from North Carolina. Brought a ton of my players from Munich and started recruiting. I mean, all of the EU for dual passport players. And so when I did that, we won the whatever the championship was. It wasn't the GFL. It was the I guess the Euro Bowl maybe.
yeah.
Something
Like
won that championship, beat Algoy like 50 to something, and then we get to the playoffs in Kiel and go down to Algoy and have a rematch in the GFL playoffs. And that was when I realized, I mean, look, dude, you got bad calls and horrible referees on every planet. I get it, but man, I've never seen more discrimination against an American player in my life. I mean, those damn refs targeted my quarterback. I mean, basically, their whole plan was they're gonna let the defensive lineman for Algoy hit my guy Blake Bowles like 10 seconds after the whistle. Just keep hitting him. And then the moment Blake got up and said something about it, they threw him out of the game. Okay. Well, I don't know if you understand a lot about GFL football podcast audience, but I didn't have another quarterback on the roster. Like, didn't have one.
Import is gone.
Like, this was like second quarter, and I'm on.
Oh.
I mean, I looked around. I'm like, who in the stands get out there and play? I'm like, sorry, dude. It's not about like our backup quarterback, but I mean, I literally could have went out there blindfolded and played better. So that game was just over, and they knew that. They go, if this guy doesn't have another quarterback, we're not gonna kick him out. We win. So that's a way to, I'd say that was a little corrupt, but whatever. So after that game, I was like, I absolutely despise the GFL based on what happened. I don't trust the league. It's grossly underfunded, and bottom line, they just don't treat football. They don't treat football seriously. It's just not the way I want to do business. So I basically reached out to a gentleman named Roger Kelly, who does a lot of media stuff.
Oh, Roger Kelly from Euro Players.
Yeah. So I reached out to Roger, and I was like, "Hey, man, if I get out of Germany, where else could I land? Like, who does it right? Who does it?" And he goes, "And these guys in Sweden are winning a lot of games." So went up there, and same kind of deal. They had changed their coaching structure. They were kind of in some reorganization. So pretty much I went up there. They wanted a whole new offense. The offensive line was a bunch of really older dudes. I'd say probably two of them were a year from retiring. They had a new quarterback. They had previously had a guy that had played there, I guess, like 6-7 years. Big man, Anders, whatever his name is. Won a bunch of games, a bunch of championships. So it was basically a total reload. And I had some really good receivers. I had a really talented running back, but I had a bunch of older, kind of worn down linemen and a very, very young, quarterback without a lot of experience. So I go up there, and initially I'm trying to figure out what the quarterback can do. And I basically, I got up there to coach. Didn't know at the time I was supposed to coach O-line, quarterbacks, and receivers.
Okay.
So, and that's another thing is like European coaches, European administrators don't realize that. Like, dude, here's the deal: you can't coach everything at practice.
Yeah.
And if you ever think you're going to have coaches or players coach their own unit, no one's going to get a damn thing accomplished. So, like, I have an offensive line background, but I was also a coordinator. So it's like, oh, you can coach the O-line. Well, who the hell is going to coach that quarterback who can't get off his second freaking read? Like, oh, he's going to coach himself? Oh, yeah. Oh, he's going to coach the receivers when he can't even draw the fucking route. He's going to coach the receivers. Okay. Like, no, it doesn't work that way. Like, you have running backs, they need to coach. Receivers, they need to coach. Quarterbacks, they need to coach. O-line, they need to coach. That's minimum 4. Now, if one of those guys can call plays, great. They double duty. But if they can't, like, they need 5.
Yeah.
It's for offense. Rarely, I mean, they don't understand that. It's like, it's just, everyone's getting by with less. But it's a standard to where the ownership and management think, well, this is how we've always done it and we've won. Like, is it your job to be the most frustrated team on earth? Like, you want to make your coaches absolutely miserable, want to blow their brains out? Like, okay, cool. Like, oh, the Americans, they'll figure it out. No, I'm not coming in to coach 4 positions, you clown. Like, God. So, anyway, I get up there, figure shit out like I always do, and we call it, we have a lunchtime entree here in America called chicken salad. So we can make chicken salad out of chicken shit, is what we call it. So you come into a situation, make lemon juice out of lemonade, that kind of deal.
Yeah.
It's kind of what we did. But I had some really, really, really good veteran receivers and a really good running back. The O-line, once we figured out what they could and couldn't do, we trimmed the offense down after about the 4th game. Went on a tear and won the title, blew everyone out in Sweden. It was gold. We're doing a lot of cool stuff on offense. And this is in 2016. And won the championship. And basically everywhere I've been, as I'm winning, I realize that when you're doing crazy shit, people don't listen to you. So when you start winning big games, now management will listen to you.
No.
So I'd always say, during the season, I'm like, hey, look, you'll be back next year. That's cool, but I need this, and this has to change, and this. So I put it in their ear, and they're like, what? I'm like, yeah, I'm not coming back. Like, I'm actually actively sending my resume out right now to get out of here. So when we back, I negotiate during the season. So, because I know after the championship, they're like, oh, this is great. Well, look, you didn't have all that stuff last year, and you won the championship. Yeah, well, my job is to make my life easier. Sorry. And so, yeah, I pretty much would demand things in the season that I wanted for the next year. And based on their feedback, I would go, I'm not coming back to this. I'm not coming to bang my head against a brick wall. Again, I'm just not. So if I couldn't get a full-time O-line coach, if I couldn't get another full-time coach that I trusted, like, it wasn't going to be it, man. And, the money they try and pay these guys, I mean, look, dude, the money in America to coach football is real, man. It's big money. I mean, it's all 6 figures across the board.
Yeah.
And if they want to get that work ethic to where you're, shit. I mean, in America, you may have staff meetings at, 6:30 in the morning. And in season, you might not get out of the building until midnight.
Yeah.
But if you want that attention to detail, if you want that effort in coaching, like, it's not free. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So if the game in Europe is treated with the same financial respect as it is in America, probably get a lot more of the results you're looking for. But that's getting, you have to be able to sell it properly. You have to market it properly. It's a fun game. You just have to do it. If everything's done at a high level, the product on the field will be attractive to consumers. Yeah. It will. If you half-ass anything, no one's going to want to watch that crap. You know what I'm saying? So the first time you introduce American football to Germany is in 2014, the Munich Cowboys. What I walked into, you went out to one of those games, like, it was a clown show. Like, it's just not, it wasn't good football. So, like, okay, you may get a German family to come out to watch one game
Yeah.
because you give them free tickets. Here, come out. They
Yeah.
come out and they're like, what the hell is this? Like, this is just not organized. It's
Yeah.
not sharp. It's not clean. It's not, they're not executing properly. And I just, I don't know, man. Like I said, you got one shot to try and get fans and try to hook them, and it better be a good game.
Mhm.
Otherwise, they're not going to come back out. So
But it is hard because what I notice in the GFL and in the AFL, in the AFL they used to have it, but they don't have that mentality, that family mentality, what like Americans player have or Canadians player. It's
yeah,
just gone. Like everybody thinks, and especially the young guys, everybody thinks he figured all out and he's uncoachable and he's the shit and he
yeah,
deserves to play because he pays and he's like 10 years in this club. And that's like it's getting bad. And the coaches, they have no choice because they have no other players, because the young
exactly.
ones, they have nothing to, like, nobody can
Yeah,
step up. They only have those three guys and that's it. And so they can be cocky and there's no, like, no team. It's just
yeah.
called team, but it's not team. So
No, if you can't,
it's bad.
if you
Yeah.
if you don't have the ability to clean your roster, if you can't fire anybody, replace people, I mean, bottom line, you just fire them. Like shit. If you can't change that though, like, and I understand, like, there's only, I mean, in America, there's, I'd say 90% of people under 18 have some experience playing American football.
Uh,
In Germany, like, if your kids don't play football, like, they have no idea what you're talking about. So you only have a certain amount of people that actually can play and have played it. So
yeah.
if you get rid of them, you're not gonna have enough people to suit up. I mean, it's the, like I said, you got to control your roster. But here's the deal: as long as you give people something,
Uh,
you can take it away from them. But everyone's got to be invested. Everyone's got to have something in the game. Everyone's got to have something to lose. And then people, oh wow, like, I'm going to play hard. I'm going to show up hard because they're paying for this. They're giving me gas money to get to practice, or they're giving me this, or oh, coach so and so helped me get on a job with the sponsor. Like,
uh,
you got to do that, man. Your coach, everyone's got to be invested in your sponsorship, your players, your management, your coaches. Everyone's got to be on the same page, or it's just
mm,
not. It's not going to be done properly. And like I said, all I know when I was there, New Yorker, Braunschweig was absolutely kicking ass. They're vertically integrated. They do it the right way. They pay their coaches the right amount. They pay the good players. They have combines. They recruit all over Europe. I mean, they were the gold standard when I was there. And it's just no one else. Everyone would just look at them and be like, "Oh, we can beat them." It's like, are you going to do what they do? No, you're never going to beat them. Like, you're just not. Like, if you're not going to raise the money and compete and pay the coaches what they're paying them and pay the import players they're paying them, and then pay the European players, get them jobs and move them to Braunschweig and pay for their living, and they're paying for everything. The European players are on, like we say in America, on full scholarship. I mean,
yeah.
everything was covered, everything. So how do you compete against that? You
Yeah.
don't. You just can't. It's like giving this guy an elephant gun. Here, go hunting. Here's an elephant gun, and here's a slingshot. Here, go hunting. So that dude's got an elephant gun.
Uh,
So tough, figure it out.
it's bad. So you're not coaching in America, right?
No, dude, I got out of that in December of 16. I'm in the corporate wellness world, basically the health insurance and workers' comp side of things.
Wow.
So I'm like a corporate strength coach, man.
How come? Why? Don't you miss it? I bet you miss football.
Here's the deal, dude. When you realize, like I said, I have a lot of friends in the business, man. But when you realize the amount of time you actually don't have off ever, um, I mean, in season in America, here's the deal. From late July through February, you're basically working 7 days a week, um, at least 18-hour days. Some are in the week time, mostly 20-hour days in season. So you have no life. Um, the off season is when you get a little time to catch your breath. But in spring, you're back at the office. You have spring football, which is a month. Then you have spring recruiting. You're on the road recruiting for a month. Then you come back in the summer and you're hosting summer camps all summer long. So you might, I mean, depending on who you work for, if he's a nice guy or an asshole, you might get, you know, 10 days off,
Mm,
like maybe 2 weeks, the whole year. I'm talking like the whole year. Like you don't get weekends off.
mm,
Like your weekend in the spring, you may have a kid you're recruiting who's a freshman in high school. He may call you and go, "Hey, coach, I'm gonna come visit campus this weekend." You're like, "I'm off this weekend." Actually, no, you're not. So when I saw how recruiting was turning, this was in this is in 2010, 2011. I saw how the coaches were having to recruit literally year round, all day.
mm.
You're on your Twitter, you're on your Instagram, you're on your. I mean, if they send you a message, you have to respond.
Yeah.
And I'm just not built like that. I'm not going to recruit a senior, a junior, a sophomore, a freshman in high school. I'm not going to recruit 4 different classes of players all year round, all day. I'm just not. Like, sorry. Well, if you don't, someone else is. They're going to
Yeah.
get those players. So I realized that I like coaching football. I despise the year round recruiting calendar.
Mm.
Um, I despise the summer camp deal. It's just like, I mean, you get good money over there, but man, you have no time to spend it. And that's when I was like, I mean, at the time I was shit in my late 20s. And I'm looking at some of these coaches that are in their 50s. I'm looking around going, this is all these older coaches know. This is all they know how to make money. Like they're fucking helpless. Like
Yeah.
all they know is this. And I'm like, no one's happy. They're all miserable. Like they all hate their families. None of them want to even go home. They just want to be at the office all the time. I'm like, dude, I have things I like. I have things I like to do. I like to travel. I like to go. I have different shit when I do off the field. It's like I'm a different guy, man. I have different interests in life. And I just was like, I don't want to be a slave to this thing. And
Yeah.
I saw where it was heading. And right now it's 10,000 times worse, man. With they have the National Signing Day now is in December, which has bumped everything up 2 months. It used to be in February. Now you're playing your season, and at the end of the season, you got to sign 25 players. Like, well, you haven't been worried about your fucking recruiting class all fall. You're trying to win games, and now they've bumped everything up to where you do your visits now in the summer before the season, so
Mm.
that eats up your vacation time. So I'm going, no. Anyway, I made a good call. I have a couple friends I grew up with that, they own a lot of companies. And, like I said, one of my friends in 2016 reached out and asked me if I wanted to stick around America and transition into a non-football, but still a coaching role. And yeah, it's basically a corporate strength coaching job. And I work with
Mm.
140 employees. And I get to have weekends off. And I don't have to recruit and kind of get a lot of freedom with my job. And
And you can just live your life.
yeah, man,
Yeah.
it's I like coaching, man, but I realized the things I liked about coaching. Like I like the game planning. I like watching film, and I like the games. Honestly, I mean, games were obviously the most fun. So if you break it all down, I mean, you're playing what between depending on what league you're in, between 10 and 14 games a year.
Yeah.
So you put all that work in, and you actually only play between 10 and 14 games, but you're working 7 days a week. I was like, man, it's just not. That's the only part I actually really enjoyed. I
Mm.
hated the other, 70% of it. So when you think of it like that, it's like, oh, you missed it. It's like I miss a lot of it, but I don't miss a lot of it either. So
Mm.
you know,
So
when you realize when you're a smart person, when you realize you can make money doing a bunch of different things, it kind of lets you have a little freedom. I
mm,
don't have kids. I don't have a wife. I don't have an ex-wife, so I can make a decision. The coaches, man, it's like most places in America, man, they enslave you with that salary. And they're like, oh, we got to have this money. Okay. Yeah, actually, I can walk away and I'll be just fine. Like, come
mm,
on. These guys, oh, I got 3 kids, or
yeah.
yeah, that's your screw up, bro. Not you're stuck here. Not me. Not me.
So what would it take to get you back to Europe?
To Europe?
If an organization is interested in you to coach as an OC or head coach, what would it take to get you back?
Uh, I don't know, man. What you really realize is that you don't go anywhere by yourself because no one in that organization will have your back. Especially as an outsider. I'll learn that real quick. I can go in there by myself and I can just freaking destroy everybody and make it work for a year just through sheer will. But bottom line, unless I had one or two coaches to come with me that knew me, how we operate, loyalty and trust are a big thing in coaching. And like I said, I didn't have a lot of buy-in from the management, the administrator side. So I'm a lot better with the coaches and the players. So I need to bring some people over to handle the management. I don't have to deal with them ever again. And if that was the case, then fine. But if it's somewhere like willing to, some team that wanted to be the next Braunschweig, wanted to be, a Dresden caliber team, wanted to be like the Crusaders, the Paris Flash, like they have to be someone like, hey, we're going to commit. We're going to have a junior program. We're going to, have a feeder system from the youth. We're going to have coaches. We'll develop coaches, and then we'll raise the coaches from the juniors to the, the varsity squad. I mean, it's got to be a full wide scope.
Just like the Danube Dragons.
Yeah, basically. I mean, it's got to be however you're doing it. I mean, it's got to be a long-term approach, and they got to take it seriously, man. It can't, you can't just have it like, oh, it's a club league or it's fun. It's like, you know what, it is fun and it should be fun, but if you're gonna fly someone like me over and you're gonna pay my salary, then that's my career, that's my face on that, that's my reputation. And the same with the American import players, like they need to be over here trying to get a shot to get back in the NFL. So it's their career, it's my career. If I bring an American DC, that's our career. So whatever happens on the field, that we're attached to that. Our resumes are on that game. Yeah. So when you have certain people that don't think like that, and certain people that do, it's like it's just two different mentalities,
Yeah.
But as long as everyone's feeling the same thing, as long as everyone on that field goes, hey, if we don't win a championship this year, we failed. Like that's the mindset you have to have, And the decisions have to be made from the top, thinking like that. So that's just one guy's opinion. So.
Many people don't know, but you also played football, of course, as an O-liner, right? And I think the Miami Dolphins called you up and signed you for practice squad, or I don't know, but some injury just killed your career. Tell me about how was it in Miami? How was
Miami
it?
was cool, man. Been in Miami, I was 22. That was cool. I was there 9 months. Got through all the mini camps, OTAs, made all the way through training camp. 2 weeks into camp, blew my my labrum out in my shoulder, popped the collarbone up, and just it was all hanging out. Tough guy, tried to keep playing. Was really pathetic out there with one arm, and so they released me, and then I'd have surgery and didn't get healthy for about another 6-7 months after that, and kind of I guess missed my window. I had another mini camp with the Buffalo Bills the next year, but I didn't get to catch on. Thing about the NFL, man, you got to be lucky and you got to stay healthy. I learned that real quick. So there's, you can be a good player, but there's 5 guys just like you, just waiting. So, I mean, I got a chance because the guy in front of me got hurt. I moved up, he's playing well, and then bang, I got hurt. It's like, there's guys that play you never heard of, and that's why. Because they come from nowhere, but they don't get hurt. Like, fuck, the Tom Brady's 19 years playing. That dude's been hurt like one time in his year. One time. He's hurt in 1 year at 19. Like, he doesn't get hurt. Like, he does not get injured. So that's a part of it, dude. Your body type. And I played 5 years in the SEC. I mean, I left the SEC. I was pretty banged up, man. So however many blows you take in college, I mean, I'm playing University of Arkansas, man. I was playing Alabama, LSU, Georgia, Florida. I mean, you're playing the big boys, and I come off knee surgery right before I went to the Dolphins, so it's just I was banged up, man, and that's the most brutal training camp I've ever been in my life. We're down in South Florida, that heat. I was dropping between 11 and 13 pounds of fluids in between practices. I was having to get IVs in my arm. It was a hell of an experience, man. But people don't realize it, man. It's an NFL training camp is probably the hardest thing physically you could ever do in your life.
Really?
It's just
Such a big difference from D1 college.
yeah. That's what you don't realize. It's like you think you're in the SEC. It's like, oh, I played against this guy from LSU. You go to the NFL, some guy in practice. You're like, where the hell's this guy from? Like, this guy's from some like Division III school you never heard of, but the guy's like the strongest guy you ever seen in your life. Like, like dude, I mean, it's just guys come from everywhere, and it's just it's different, dude. Like I said, you gotta be a grown man. Your mental toughness has to be through the roof, but you have to stay healthy, and you got to be lucky, dude. Like it's the guys that make it, they hit one of those two. So, but
How much painkillers did you take at the time during the camp?
what's up?
How many painkillers did you take?
Here's I mean, I couldn't play. Okay, I couldn't play on that shit, dude. So, all right. So you want to get under the hood? You want to get real with drugs, George Coffey? Okay, this is what football players do. All right. At least when I was playing, there's a drug called Toradol. All right, Toradol. I think Toradol. Toradol is the strongest. They call it a non-narcotic painkiller. So it's an anti-inflammatory and it's a painkiller injection, but it's not a narcotic, so it doesn't make you like drowsy and loopy in the head. So you can play. So they give you that, they give you a shot in your butt. And I'm telling you, man, I've played through sprained knees, I've played through high ankle sprains. You can play through broken leg. I mean, this shit's legit. It is very, very, very potent. And so it kicks in about 30, 40 minutes. And I mean, you feel great. I mean, your first half, I mean, I'll tell you, dude, I haven't practiced all week when I was in college. I'd have a swollen ankle, the thing about this big. I wouldn't practice all week. And pregame, I get a shot, let it kick in, start jogging on the field. Man, I feel pretty good. Get dressed, get taped, moving around. I feel pretty good. Okay. After the game, cut your tape off, and that damn ankle blow back up. I mean, it's just the vicious cycle of healing in season. But yeah, I mean, I was playing from 2002 through 2006 was my college, and then I was at the Dolphins in 2007. So they, I mean, it's just practice. You're not going to take painkillers to practice. Like, you don't do that. But it's the things that if you ask for on game day, you get anything you want, whatever you need to play the game. So if it's like, hey, I haven't practiced all week, can't walk. Would you like to walk today? Okay, sure. I'll try it. And you try it, let it kick in, see how you feel, go play. But Toradol was the best thing to get me playing, honestly, for any kind of issue, any kind of knee, ankle, mostly joint issues. I didn't have a lot of muscle problems. I didn't have a lot of pulled hamstring or torn quads or groins or if you have that, you really can't. I mean, a drug's not gonna. You're just gonna tear it more. But mostly like joint issues, sprains, strains, that kind of stuff. If you tape it up and you get a Toradol shot, you pretty much play pretty good. So, but that was the best one.
You guys never had some drug tests? You guys never had some? You never had some drug tests or anything?
Yeah, it's not it's given you by a doctor, so it's not.
It's right. Wow. Okay. Yeah. So it's real bad. It's real bad. Have you ever seen that some players abused some drugs during your time as a coach?
Abused drugs during my time as a coach?
Yeah.
My players?
Yeah.
I mean, this. All right. So I was at this Division II school called New Mexico Highlands. All right. This place was absolutely hell on earth. I'm gonna go and throw it out there. So we got a lot of our players were big Division I players. Like we got players from Southern California, Arizona, UCLA, or Oregon. We had transfers from a lot of big schools, and the reason we got them in the middle of nowhere in New Mexico was because most of them couldn't stop smoking weed, couldn't stop doing whatever they were doing, and they got kicked off the team. So that was part of our recruiting pitch. It was like, hey, if you come down here, we don't have the budget to drug test. Come on. And we just you don't care. It's like, dude, these guys are absolute maniacs. Nobody wanted them. They're uncontrollable. They're not going to stop doing the dumb shit they did to get them kicked off their former team. So you
Mm.
just get a bunch of maniacs in the middle of the desert, and you go, okay, if we can just win for 6 months, cool. Well, one season, these guys aren't going to go to class. You guys aren't going to study, and they're not going to stop smoking weed. So whatever. That was
Mm.
kind of our approach. And shit, dude, our top 5 offense and set freaking record for wins in the last 20 years. And it was a good time, man. But no, as far as comes to just drugs, like, I mean, look, dude, if you're playing football, you're not going to play football at a high level if you're doing anything other than, I guess, like smoking weed on occasion. Like, you just, I mean, I'm gonna be able to look at a guy and be like, this guy's horrible. His conditioning sucks. He's just not playing at a high level. So you're not going to play, first of all. And you're not going to survive the workouts if you're like, you're just not. I mean, you can't show up drunk for fucking practice. Like, you'll die, and I won't play you. So, you know, I'm sure there's guys that are freaks and, you know, they can hide it better. But
Mm.
bro, that was never an issue. Like, I'll tell you, when I played, I couldn't drink if I had to practice in 2 days. I was like, nah, I'm not doing it. Nope, not having beer. I got practice on Saturday. Fuck that. I'm not drinking on Thursday. I'm just not.
The imports in Europe, they drink a lot. Like
Oh yeah,
almost
no, it's
everyone. They're like best
shit,
time
man.
of their life.
You know, dude, I had players smoking cigarettes at halftime, man. Like, I get it. These guys are fucking crazy. Fucking beer and cigarettes, man. It's freaking nuts.
Yeah. Yeah. Last question. What was the best moment for you in Europe, not in the GFL? I mean, Sweden or GFL or whatever. What was the best moment for you as a coach?
I'd say, um, I'd say it was probably winning the Euro Bowl in Kiel. Um, that was good. You know, it was kind of a culmination of I got a good coordinator I hired. I brought in another good European coach. You should talk to this guy. His name's Mele Mosqueda. Brought him up from Munich. He's a running back coach, and I brought the quarterback from Munich. I brought Ryan Newell, the linebacker from Munich. I brought Tyler Davis, the receiver from Munich. Brought Benedict Engelman, another tight end.
Yeah, yeah, very
I
good.
brought I brought I brought so many, and I recruited so many good European players to build that roster, and so that was kind of you like seeing the fruits of your labor, and built a good team, and we blew out Algoy, and I don't know, won 47-50 to. I mean, it was a big game, a lot of points, and I guess that was just a good. We had that game, and then the first game we played versus Dresden. When I got up there, Dresden, apparently this big powerhouse, and my general manager, really wanted to beat their general manager. Ooh, and we freaking got out there and smoked their ass, and we
Mm.
weren't supposed to win. And I got my running back. I got recruited, Andres. What was his name? He was from the Swarco Raiders. He was an Austrian back. We had him at Kiel. Andres something.
Platzkummer? No.
Nah, I think his name started with an H.
Andreas Hofbauer.
Yeah, Hopa. That's my boy.
This guy,
Yeah,
yeah, he was one
yeah,
of the best running backs in
yeah,
Europe.
yeah. We had him, and yeah, dude. Everyone played their ass off. Had a good game. He actually, I think, broke his shoulder that game.
Ooh.
First half of Dresden, but the Dresden win was really big. I was a good program turner. Got the fans on board. Kind of got the GM off my back. I was like, just leave me alone. I'm gonna win games for you. Just don't interfere. And like I said, dude, you got some people that they want to sit around and treat football like a business. They want to sit around and staff meetings and just stare at each other all day and just make up problems to have these fake staff meetings. I mean, dude, football's not complicated. I do my teaching on the field. I'm not going to sit in an office all day. Like, it's just not how I'm wired. So, but those were two really good wins, and I guess it kind of like brought validity to what I was doing, and my players would bought in. Like, shit, man, we listen to this guy. We're going to score a ton of points, and we're going to win a bunch of ball games. So, I'd say those are the two biggest program turners. Came to Munich, low expectations, got them decent. Came to Kiel, high expectations. I'd say we met them on some fronts, but then the refs wouldn't let us win the playoff game. So I'd say we didn't achieve the full expectation there. And then go to Sweden, we had high expectations and won the championship there. So I would say the Kiel was the only time I was a head coach. So I'd say those big wins kind of felt better as a head coach because you built the roster and you recruited the defensive players and the coaching staff. And so I was pretty proud of that team, man. We were a team that you did not want to play. I know that for a fact. Every team we played, the defense coordinators were like, dude, we don't want to mess with this stuff. Like these guys were nuts, dude. I mean, we had their D line was amazing, our corners were amazing, our skill guys. I mean,
Tyler, he's crazy. Ryan and
dude,
Tyler.
dude, that year, Tyler was untouchable. I mean, no one could tackle that dude. So, but it was a good time, dude. I enjoyed it. I said I won 2 championships in 3 years. So, I'll take it. I'm still waiting on my rings, Carlstad. Mail me the rings. But no, man, it was a good experience, and not many people my age get to travel the world like I did, man. And
True.
so it was a good time. But for football, it's got to be. I mean, I got to work for a friend of mine. It's got to be a really good situation. I'm enjoying life outside of football, but I mean, I'll listen to a good situation, but I get a lot of time off. I can enjoy the money I make, and I'd say that's important to me. So,
That's good. But I'm happy for you. I'm happy for you. So you're not getting depressed or anything. You're still living your best life.
yeah, man.
That's very good. So when are you coming back to Europe to visit me? You've never been to Austria, I guess. You've only been to Munich and Kiel.
I'm gonna come. I'll tell you what. I'm gonna come to Europe, and I'm gonna hand deliver the coronavirus vaccine to you, George. I'm gonna inject the vaccine into your arm personally.
I'm waiting. But I want like American version, not the Russian, whatever, Sputnik, or I don't know what it's called. I want them.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know what the hell's going on with this damn thing, but I definitely would love to be able to use my passport and get out of here. But I don't know, dude. If we're looking at, America, we're probably won't get normal till, it may be next summer, dude. Like it's just,
so bad.
Knows, bro. No one knows, man. Like our number, where I'm at New Orleans numbers are so bad right now. Like,
really,
we can function. Like you can go do things outside. You can eat food, drink outside in places, but indoor places they're pretty much.
And the gyms are closed.
They're open right now in some capacity. Yeah, it's the thing about it. It's like so we have parishes, like the counties or parishes. So it's if you're in this parish, certain rules, but you go 10 minutes over here at this parish, they might have a gym open, or you go 45 minutes this way.
Okay.
Like, these people are open, but these people aren't.
Okay.
So
that's weird.
It's whatever the mayor wants to do of each little area. So
okay. Makes no sense.
It's insane, dude. Okay. So like I said, I'm just waiting for this stuff to clear up, and then I'd love to get back. Love to go see a Vison again. I don't know, man. My friend Melee, he's actually might be going to Karlstad. He lived in Munich and did a little time in Paris coaching with Flash out there. You should talk to him, man. He's very plugged into European football. He's
connect me. Is he black? Is he black? Is he a black guy?
Hispanic.
Hispanic. Ooh, okay.
He speaks fluent Spanish. No, he knows. Like I said, he was my guy. I trained him up. I brought him to Kiel with me. He wanted to be a coach. That was in 2015. So yeah, he's been in Europe coaching for the last 6 years. He's head coach, coordinator. He's been in Poland, France, Germany. He's good. He's connected with everybody, man. He talks to the ownership a lot nicer than me. So.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
Please connect me on Instagram. And one last thing. First of all, thank you for taking your time. Thank you for being so honest and unfiltered and raw. Yep. And please give me a shout out for my new team, the Danube Dragons. Just wish them luck, please. And yeah.
So raise money and buy good coaches and good players. Good things happen. Spend the money, buy good coaches, buy good players.
Amen.
Football's not complicated. Have better players in the next team. It's not
we have one import. Well,
you should have your import, and then he should breed with the local girl, and then create more imports. But they're legal, right?
His father now, yeah.
You have a farm. So 18 years from now, you can have a good team, right?
True. Shout out to Jed. You heard it. Okay,
man.
thank you, coach. Thank you for your time. Have a nice
All right,
day.
man. Take it easy,
Thank
King
you.
Kofi.
See ya. Bye.